So, you're building with LLMs, and chances are you're kind of flying blind once your app hits production. That's a huge, huge problem. In this explainer, we're going to demystify LLM observability and give you a super practical guide to the tools you absolutely need to know about for 2025. Let's get right into it.
Let's be real for a second. Does your LLM app feel like a total black box the second it goes live? You know, you've built it, you've tested it, but out in the wild, who knows what it's really doing? If you're scratching your head wondering why your app is suddenly spitting out bizarre results you never ever saw during testing, trust me, you are not alone.
In that black box, it leads to some serious production nightmares. I'm talking about things like non-deterministic outputs, where the exact same prompt gives you completely different answers, or performance that just slowly degrades over time for no obvious reason. And the worst ones, silent failures that don't even throw an error. Then you pile on costs that are spiraling out of control, and major security risks like prompt injection, and it becomes crystal clear. Flying blind just isn't an option anymore.
So, the answer to this whole black box problem is something we call LLM observability. But listen, don't get this confused with your dad's old school monitoring. This is a whole new ballgame, built for a completely new kind of software.
So what is it exactly? Well, the best way to think about LLM observability is like a flight recorder for your AI. It gives you this complete end-to-end visibility into every single layer. We're talking about the app logic, the exact prompts you're sending, every single intermediate step an agent takes along the way, and of course, the final output. It's all about deeply understanding and debugging the behavior, not just guessing what went wrong.
This slide really nails the difference. See, traditional monitoring is awesome for predictable systems. You're just tracking known stuff like CPU usage or latency. But with LLMs, you're living in this wild, non-deterministic world. LLM observability is built for that chaos. It lets you track things you couldn't before, like prompt quality or agent tool calls. And here's the kicker. It lets you ask any question you want about your system's behavior even after something has already gone sideways.
Okay, so any platform worth its salt in this space is going to have a few core pieces. You'll want to see really robust tracing to follow those complex agent workflows. You need clear dashboards for cost, latency, and usage. Detailed logging for every single prompt and response is a must. And powerful evaluation workflows, both automated and custom, are non-negotiable. Oh, and of course, real-time alerts and super tight integrations with frameworks like LangChain. Those are absolute must-haves.
Now that we know what we're looking for, let's get to the fun part. Let's put the top 5 platforms on the market today head-to-head and see how they stack up.
All right, here's a quick map of the landscape. This table gives you the 30,000-foot view of Maxim AI, LangSmith, Arize, Langfuse, and Braintrust. You can see how they compare on the big things like tracing and evaluation. And just as a little sneak peek, notice how Maxim AI is the only one here with its own LLM gateway? That's a really interesting detail we're going to circle back to. For now, just keep this overview in your head as we dive into each one.
First up, we have Maxim AI. You should think of this one as a really comprehensive end-to-end platform. It's designed to cover the entire life cycle of your LLM app, all the way from those early experiments and simulations right through to production evaluation and observability.
And the feature set here is seriously impressive. You get super detailed agent-level tracing, a full suite for running experiments, robust evaluation tools, but the thing that really makes it stand out is that Bifrost LLM gateway we mentioned. This thing is a total game changer for performance. It's this highly optimized layer that sits between your app and the LLMs, and it manages all your requests with less than 11 milliseconds of overhead. For any app that needs to be fast and handle a ton of traffic, that is a massive, massive advantage.
Maxim AI is also clearly built with the enterprise in mind. It's SOC 2 compliant, it integrates with all the major players you'd expect, like LangChain, OpenAI, and Anthropic, and it's got a proven track record with some big names like Clink and MindTickle. They've really shown their system can handle the heavy-duty demands of big, large-scale deployments.
Next on our list is LangSmith. And look, if you live and breathe LangChain, this is probably going to be your go-to. It was developed by the exact same team, so it's built from the ground up for deep, seamless native integration with all the LangChain tools you already know and love.
LangSmith has a really solid feature set. Full-stack tracing, prompt management, evaluation workflows, the works. The open telemetry integration is a great touch for connecting it to your wider systems, and with SDKs for both Python and TypeScript, it's super developer-friendly. Honestly, for teams that are all in on the LangChain ecosystem, it's pretty much a no-brainer.
Okay, let's talk about Arize AI. Their whole world revolves around what happens after you deploy. Their entire focus is on monitoring, tracing, and debugging your model outputs out there in the wild, in production, where it really counts.
So Arize is all about production health. They've got real-time tracing, detailed cost and latency analytics, and maybe most importantly, these guardrail metrics. You can think of these as automated safety nets. They're designed to automatically flag issues like model bias or toxic outputs, letting you catch really critical problems before they blow up and start affecting your users.
Now for something a little different. Langfuse. The headline here is that it's open source, and that right there gives your team a ton of flexibility. It really positions Langfuse as more of a broad LLM engineering platform than just a pure observability tool. Because it's open source, you get choices. You can self-host Langfuse on your own servers for maximum control over your data, or you can just use their cloud version. It has some cool, unique features too, like session tracking to see whole user flows and batch exports for when you want to do some deep offline analysis. And it's still enterprise-ready with SOC 2 compliance. For some teams, that open-source flexibility is a huge win.
And our final platform to check out is Braintrust. Now, it also covers simulation, evaluation, and observability, but its special sauce is all about embracing the human element of quality assurance.
Braintrust is really built for teams that need that human-in-the-loop workflow. It makes it super easy to bring in external annotators and gives you these really granular controls over the whole evaluation process. This is absolutely critical for apps where you have to guarantee the accuracy and fairness of your models, especially in those tricky cases where automated metrics just don't cut it.
Okay, so you've seen all these great options. How on earth do you choose the right one for your team? Let's break it down with a simple 5-step framework to make it easy.
Here are the 5 big questions you and your team need to answer. First, how deep do you need your tracing to be? Are we talking just prompts or entire complex agent workflows? Second, what about evaluation? Does the platform support the specific custom metrics you need? Third, and this is a big one, will it actually play nice with your existing stack? Fourth, security and compliance. Is it tough enough for your organization's needs? And finally, the ultimate test. Can it actually handle your production load without slowing everything to a crawl? All right, let's bring it all home and wrap up with the key takeaways. If you only remember a few things from this whole explainer, make it these points for building truly reliable AI systems.
So here's the bottom line. In 2025, LLM observability is not a nice-to-have, it is a core requirement. Full stop. The platform you choose has to be tailored to your specific needs around tracing, evaluation, and security. My advice? Start small. Trace just one single critical workflow to get that first quick win and see the value. And if you're playing in the big leagues at enterprise scale, you really need to be looking for a platform like Maxim AI that gives you that full end-to-end package of simulation, security, and observability. And that's a wrap on our guide. I'll just leave you with one final question to chew on. When you finally get to shine a light into that black box, what's the one crucial, game-changing insight that your very first trace is going to reveal? Thanks so much for tuning in.